okay? So we're gonna try to workshop the deadlift a little bit, and we're going to create sort of a building block method. This is a lot for the trainers, the teachers, but also for the students. A lot of times we have clients that they can't get in a proper position to do a deadlift, and in my experience, a lot of the times they cannot get into the proper position is because they don't know what to feel for. They don't know what the load feels like. Also, just let me say quickly, this could be a long one, so you might have to catch the rest of this on my YouTube channel. But when trying to get into position, they just don't know what to feel for. So a lot of times we're presented with an idea around a deadlift that it's hamstrings and glutes, and that's it. And of course, as we know, it is certainly not all it is. It's really the whole rear chain, including your abdominal muscles, the core, etc. So there's a lot of things going on. So that information in and of itself can really confuse a client. And a lot of times when I tell people to, get into this lower deadlift position, which loaded, may look like this, they kind of look like this, right? So they don't know what to feel for. So I tell them a lot of times, and this confuses them too, push your butt out, which can be really confusing. So they don't really know how to do that. Okay. So how do we get them? And a lot of other issues present themselves as we go through the movement of itself, how the movement breaks down. So what I like to use to really teach them is a forward fold half lift, which might be seen commonly in a yoga sun salutation, in those asanas, where I tell them first to just round their back down all the way like this, right? And so what I can assess too there, and as we all know already, right, like your clients have tight hamstrings, that is a given, okay? So when they're gonna get down here, they may even look something like this. So first step, what do I tell them to do? I'm gonna have them straighten their legs, keep their back round, going to the end range. So I want to establish an end range. How much can their hamstrings take when they are under tension? So we're gonna find out that way in this forward fold. And then the next directive is go into a half lift. So how do I do that? Now I want them to hinge up, push their chest out and their butt out when they come into a half lift. So we need to watch this position pretty intently as well, right? So a lot of times what people do, first of all, when they get into this position, when they push their chest out, their head immediately comes up, which is going to be very appropriate when we're loaded, but I'm not going to teach that when we're unloaded, because that's going to first take them out of the movement when they lift their head up and pull their weight all the way forward. And it's also going to place more tension on their hamstrings. When I raise my chin up like that and extend that neck that way, I'm pulling on my hamstrings. So it's just going to make their hamstrings tighter. So I'm going to bring them back into their body by having them lower their chin, right? And I'm going to have them find end range right there. Now, a lot of times what you'll also see is, and it's important for them too, if I haven't mentioned, it's important for them to be back, to be barefoot, when they do this. A lot of times those maximal cushioning shoes, as you know, they're not going to allow proper connection to the ground, which is super, super important. So, here we are, we're in this position. Oh, we've shifted our weight all the way back. We're gonna come back to midfoot. I'm gonna have all corners of the feet pressing down. I'm gonna lower the chin. We're just gonna find this place. This particular position, that particular position, and that sort of half lip position can be very enlightening for people because they feel stuff they haven't felt before. And this is a really good time to point out, right, we feel our core, we feel those back muscles working, because that's really what this is. We are hinging, and one of the best ways for us to get a good hinge is our connection to the ground. I talk about this all the time. So where your feet are on the ground is incredibly important when going through this position, right? So also what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have them here with their chest out, their chin down, and I'm gonna have their hands resting right here on their shins or whatever they land, and I'm gonna have them gently press their hands into their shins while they lower their shoulders, and I'm going to have them fire up their lats in that position. Also incredibly illuminating for people to do that. They start to understand how the muscles contract, and more importantly, they get into the feeling aspect of the movement. That is what we want to establish, a feeling aspect of the movement. Now, after they have that contraction and they're loaded, I'll have them ball their fists, pretending they're holding weight, and my directive will be press your feet into the ground to stand, right? So now they're performing an unloaded deadlift. And what is important to explain, and as I explain to everybody that comes in, is that we're going to do unloaded and loaded movements slightly differently, right? Because there needs to be an evolution regarding technique for when we're unloaded and when we're loaded. Now, the last thing I'll say too is when they establish that and they can actually internalize that movement and they feel what I'm talking about, I'm going to give them weights, moderate weights to hold. So what I'm telling them now is that the weights are not resistance, but they are assistance. So the weight becomes assistance to the contraction. So when they understand that weight is an assistance to the contraction, they get much, much better at the movement. It's a partnership, right? They don't reject it. It's not something that's forcing them to be super uncomfortable. It is, but we give the discomfort a purpose. When we give the discomfort a purpose, things work much better for them. So anyway, this is what I've been using to try to help give my clients an effective deadlift. Give it a try. Let me know.